playing through the early stages of the game as a Dwarven Berserker. I'm going to play until about level 10. So starting off with the initial stat allocation, strength because I want to deal damage. Combat accuracy is always good to hit people, and weapons mastery, max at ASAP if you're any sort of weapons class. I'm taking one level in rush so I can get to people easily. One level in stunning blow, I plan to take this to level 3 as soon as possible. Because of the stun duration, stun's a good debuff. It goes 3 to 4 to 6, so 3 points in it's a nice break point. And I don't think I'll need wash out, so I'll take 1 point quick recovery. One note, if you're playing a dwarf for the early stage of the game, this is actually a relatively dangerous area because of how it's structured. Your friend is useful, but he also steals the XP from you. However, I don't believe it matters because, ow. I don't think it matters because if I recall correctly, ow, go away. I think it matters because if I recall correctly, if I recall correctly, you actually get automatically level 2, level 3 as soon as you hit the boss for this area anyway. Pro tip, healing infusions are good, they heal you. To be honest, I really don't need to rush him there, I know, I'm just impatient, honestly. Just little tricks, like here I could move to attack the rabbit, but instead I wait a turn because that way the rabbit comes to me and I get to attack first. Again, here, like, I could move forward or up and left, but if I move up to here, I'll get hit by 2 orcs at once, which is not preferable. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to change places with Norgan, because that way I'm only next to one of the orcs, so I don't get focused by both of them. Wow, or they could instantly die. That works too. So I used a physical infusion to try and clear the blind. It didn't work out. So since I'm blind, I can't really hit anything, and I'm just going to be a coward until I'm no longer blind, because when I'm blind, I'm useless. Okay, so level up, so again, strength is still my first priority, so I can get more damage. Weapons mastery is really, really good. Take a second point in stunning blow, because 6 turns of stun is very good. I'm probably not going to take more than 3 points in it, because the more points you have in ability, the worse it's like the worse each improvement gets, essentially. That was done. The mistake I made there was that I should have used the healing infusion first, because I was poisoned and blinded. And so the thing is that when I used my physical infusion, it picked a random physical debuff to cure, and it picked the poison to cure, but I needed to cure the blind. So I should have actually used the healing infusion first, because that would have cured the poison and given me a higher chance to actually cure the blind. And again, what I said about like letting enemies walk to you so you have the first blow still applies. It's just with rats and that sort of thing, I'm just lazy. My abilities require 200 weapons, that's not going to help. I know if I get poisoned, it's probably a relatively scary poison because they hit me for a fair bit of damage, so I'm just going to instantly healing infusion to cure it. This is one of the main reasons healing infusions are so good, is because they can cure bleeds and poisons. And especially sometimes later in the game, those can have nasty side effects. Like there can be a poison that really heavily reduces your ability to heal. There's another one that stops you moving. And so it's really handy to be able to get the instant heal plus cure all of those. Tricky. So there's a lot of enemies, so what I'm trying to do is figure out which enemies are most important to kill, and also which ones I can pick off first so I don't get surrounded. So again, as soon as I get blinded, I'm using the Wild Infusion to cure it, and if it doesn't cure the blind because it cures the other debuff instead, I'm just going to run away until the blind goes away. Sometimes discretion is indeed the better part of valor. Okay, so dealing with the level up before I go in. Again, strength is still a top priority as long as I can do it. Can't take more weapon mastery, so I'll take a point in vitality because healing is nice. I could go with that actually. I'll go with a heal. So I don't want to take another point in this right now because it's overkill. I could take another one in Rush, but right now Rush has enough range, so I don't really need to do it, so I'm going to take Washout. Washout, I believe, is a pretty good ability. I don't really use it enough, but the ability to stop enemies doing something half the time is good. I don't care about you. These ones just have stats, so it's like, why the hell not wear them? And I'm actually going to, this is just because I know the game already, I'm actually going to let my ally go first here because this boss here is distinctly scary and I prefer not to get my face murdered. Wait, does this confuse my ally? It will, pity. So I'm actually checking over to check if I actually stunned him or not. Unfortunately, since he had Wild Infusion, I didn't stun him, and so as such I'm going to use a Confusion. Damn it, I missed him again. It's generally important to take a few levels in combat accuracy in early levels, but you don't generally want to take more than a few because it's just overkill. So generally, depending on the class, I tend to go with 2 or 3 levels in accuracy. Sorry, combat accuracy, the talent, that is. Taking this into my inventory because I figure I might use it later, though I'm not sure. This is literally the same helmet I have. No, it's not quite. I'd also really like it if someone would give me a weapon that's two-handed, but oh well. So in town, so gonna try and figure out what to do next. I'm just taking out these 2 points just because I'm probably going to put them back in. It just gives me a little more leeway or room to figure out like what I want next. Taking the sun out because weapon mastery is more important than pretty much anything else. The combat veteran tree in general is actually just really bad, honestly. It's kind of a trap tree in general. Precise strikes is bad mostly because it reduces your attack speed. There are a few exceptions, but they're sort of niche. This one's not a great ability, but it is some AoE I can use depending on the situation. Also, like if an enemy is like trying to run away or kite you, it'll let you get free attacks in, which is always handy. What is this again? Berserker Rage. How do you scale? This is probably a good one. I'm just not going to do it for the time being because I think it's just going to be annoying, honestly. Like it's basically nothing more than that. So I'll put 2 points in Rush for the time being just because it seems reasonable. For the time being, I don't have that many ways to spend points I'm excited about, honestly, which is why I'm doing this. Am I just going to go with Constitution as my second stat? I'm probably going to take enough Constitution to take these talents and then go into Cunning afterwards. Most classes want some Cunning as like their third stat because everyone appreciates critting. Again, so I see multiple enemies. I'm going to go for the one who's isolated that I can pick off before I have to do anything to the other folks. Start with the stun. If I was actually worried about these guys, what I'd do is move a step over here, because that way I'd only be attacked by one at once, but they're just not that scary, so. Shadow, some sort of summoner around the place. I always hate summoners. And when I say summoner, I just mean something that is summoning and not the summoner class. So I see a rare. When I'm checking it, I'm hovering my mouse over it. I'm actually looking for the sustained talents it has in particular. They're generally what will tell me what class it is. In this case, because it has acid infusion sustained, I know it's an alchemist. And apparently it has friends. Good to know. That's a lot of enemies, so I'm just going to try and focus down the caster as quick as I can, because I think that will banish the rest, I think. Apparently not. So in this case, I'm actually just running away, because sometimes, honestly, discretion is the best part of Valor, and, like, not being dead is good. Ow. I'm actually possibly in trouble here, honestly. Trying to make it to a choke point right now. That damn shadow is the problem. Well, apparently there's a lot of shadows. Good to know. I didn't actually realize he was a caster, but oh well. If I can take out him, it'll be helpful because he summons the shadows. Hence, if he's dead, no shadows. I'm out of stamina, but that's okay. Didn't really expect the fight to go that long anyway. These guys are a pain because they can spit blight at you and it deals a truckload of damage. Ow. I don't like getting stunned. Please go away. Ow. Hence I said a truckload of damage, and this is why we have charge, because being able to kill things that are ranged is good. Who would have thought? Very low effect on that, but it's more just I have nothing else to wear, so I might as well. So really like some actual, better weapons, but apparently it's not to be. I just do a double tap like when I'm auto-exploring because I could have came to the exit from the level but still have more stuff to find. If auto-explore takes me back to the start of the level, I know I found everything. Cool, better in pretty much every way. 14-turn cooldown, 18% damage, 12, 18. So it's not worth using because most of the time the purpose of these is just for removing the debuffs. The fact that it gives damage resistance is a nice perk, but by no means why I'm actually using it in the first place. So again, I see multiple enemies. I'm going to try and go towards one so I can take him out so I don't get flanked. Or at least I don't get flanked for long. This is probably going to hurt. Take the opportunity to kill him before I use my regen rune, because that way I don't have to actually take damage from him while I'm doing it. I moved up because I'm scared about this guy spitting blight at me. Oh, there's two of them. That is problematic. So I'm backing up so I can go around a corner. Corners and choke points can be very useful in the game, because now it's likely that only one of them's going to be able to see me. Do I actually? Okay. I was considering actually deciding actively not to kill him and waiting to stun out so this guy couldn't shoot me, but it should be fine anyway. I just hope I don't really get killed by Blight Spit next turn. Safe for me to regen because I knew his Blight Spit was on cooldown, so it didn't actually matter if anyone saw me. And since my charge is on cooldown, I wasn't actually willing to round the corner, so I wasn't willing to kill the guy in front of me, because I was worried this guy would actually just immediately spit Blight, so I go around the corner, wait for him to come to me. This is often one of the things you can do that will really help deal with mages early game as a mage. In fact, not just early game, like for most of the game, honestly. So I mean, help deal with mages as a melee, my bad. Why are there bees in the underground? I guess I shouldn't judge. And stranger things have happened. Do you guys even have any talents? I'm just curious. Oops, that was not what I meant to do. Apparently not. You just like bleed on me and make it annoying. Actually, I forgot how much stamina issues you have as Berserker. Oh, this is very handy. Lanterns of Health are quite good early game for many classes. Since you don't have much health, even getting relatively minor increases to your health is very nice. This is actually an interesting boss. As you can see, he's basically invincible. He has 10,000 health and it doesn't even technically have defenses, but yeah, he literally does not take damage from anything. It's just he doesn't. So what he does is he actually spawns these little crawlers instead, and you can kill the crawlers, and he takes 10% of his life in damage every time. But he also pulls you towards him, which is why I'm sort of moving back and forth. Just so A, he doesn't shoot me, and B, I don't get next to him so he can't, I don't know, melee me or something. Because I'm like sort of moving left and right to dodge the potential spit, and I'm also moving diagonally back. Because if I just move straight away, then I'm just going to sort of be stuck at the wall, not doing anything. And I also need to get these slimy crawlers to come to me so I can kill them. If I move forward here, I'm pretty sure he's going to come and attack me because he's really fast. So that's why I step sideways, and it didn't work anyway. But it was a good idea. But that's why I'm moving back instead of moving towards the crawler, because if I move towards the crawler, ow. So I move towards the crawler, then I know that the mouth is going to suck me in as well. This guy actually hurts more than I thought. Come. And one thing you can actually do is another trick, if I can pull it off. So I believe there's actually positions where you can hide behind a tree from him. Maybe not. Oh no, nope, never mind. It was a good idea anyway. I don't really care about anything else. The one note that the reason I give a tag to this is it lets me attack targets that are invisible without any problems. If your melee class, is often very nice to keep something like that around for most of the game so that if you run into something that's scary and invisible, you can equip it to deal with them. I also have an ability that can help me deal with it, but the ability has a fairly long cooldown. It is Perfect Strike is the one, which is quite good at dealing with them, but like if you run into a lot of invisible enemies, sometimes it's not enough. So, they get the quest to go on to Tier 2 dungeons. Basically, just following named by the community because you have Tier 1 dungeons, which are the starting dungeons for some classes or races, and the Tier 2 dungeons are just the ones that come after that, basically. So in this case, I'm heading to this section of the map because I'm actually looking to do these two dungeons as well. These ones are sort of generally acknowledged as the easiest ones in the game, and so it's nice just to help myself get a bit more of a foothold. Pity. What is my second stat? I'm not even honestly entirely sure what my second stat should be as a Berserker, frankly. I guess maybe crit. Gonna put a third point in here as well. And again, it's the same things I mentioned earlier, where like with the stunning blow, where from level 2 to level 3, it gained 2 turns of stun. This one gets much bigger and a fair bit bigger, and also stun goes up by a fair bit as well, so I'm going to do that. I'm not sure I'm going to keep this point, but I'm putting it in here for the time being because it's useful. The ability to take points out at will is just, it's a really handy touch. And I'm just trying to consider whether I'm going to put 2 points in heavy armor training, because that'll let me wear the biggest set of armor that I have, or if I'm going to instead put it into just the heal or something. I'm going to do both regardless. Just the question is which first. It probably doesn't matter. I'm lazy, so I'll shoot this. Also, just since I didn't mention, the reason that I actually went into that town is because I was taking some of my points out so I could reallocate. Whoops. I use hotkeys to move most of the time, but I just accidentally moved my mouse at the wrong time. This does actually illustrate something useful though, which is that you can use rush to get to a... that's a lot of people. So again, lots of people, so I'm backing up to a choke point, waiting for everyone to come to me. Also, since I'm going to be next to people in the near future, I use regen, because I have a dead turn, so I might as well get something going. The note that I was going to mention earlier was that rush can actually be used to not just get to an enemy, but also just to any open space, so it can be useful as an escape. Although that might be getting patched soon. And when I say might be, I mean it will be changed, I just don't know when the patch will happen. It might be a long time. I've actually seen a question before about like, how can you grind for items in term? And the answer is that's a lot of snakes. The answer is actually that by and large, like you can't. That's not how the game works in the first place. In terms of like, there's not like a group of, areas that like, oh, everything respawns here to go grind. But realistically speaking, the answer is like, if you want better gear, go and do other dungeons that are optional. Rogue's here, invisible somewhere, so I'm just going to walk away and hi. Oh, there was actually one trick that'll help with the invisible enemies. Let me just wait until I see an enemy to show you. I don't care about any of these. Probably not. This isn't a terrible item, but most of the charms aren't that worthwhile, and I'm just sort of too lazy to bother. I know this isn't a dangerous area, honestly. So here's one note. So when you right-click a square, it gives you some options. And if you right-click an enemy, it'll also have Inspect Creature, along with the options that are available. One interesting trick is that if you do that on a square when an invisible enemy is located, it will actually show you the Inspect Creature thing. So you can use that to find invisible enemies, even if you actually, can't see them. It actually also helps in dealing with blind, like I was talking about. It helps with dealing with blind, like I ran to earlier, where even if you're blinded, you can right-click a square, and if the Inspect Creature thing pops up, then you know that there was actually something in that square. So again, hovering my mouse over him because I'm trying to figure out what class he has, since the rares have classes. Striking stance means he's a brawler or uses unarmed fighting. I can also just go and inspect him. I look at talents, it's like, oh, you have striking stance and double strike, and so he's going to punch me, he's going to stun me. Normally I'm just using a hotkey for this when I hover my mouse over him. I press whatever the button you press to like inspect your character is. Like in my case it's V, so if I hit V it shows my character sheet. If I'm hovering my mouse over an enemy, when I hit V it shows theirs. So that's just sort of a handy note. So going to pop this, that wasn't what I expected, but oh well. I was planning to use it like in a turn before he rushed me. Use my defensive buff, don't attack him because I'm dazed. Stun him, and proceed to the meta side of things. Yeah, so like if he's trying to run away, I'm going to step after him with cleave. The cleave is very expensive stamina-wise, so you do have to be careful about that. One thing that does annoy me sometimes is like sometimes the range you can see at is actually larger than what the screen shows. So like I knew that there was something on the screen that spit poison at me. I didn't know where it was. So what I just did was I said, oh well, something's bad at me. I'll just hit the rush button, and it will sort of automatically suggest the best target it can see. Or sometimes, even if I'm like on a class that doesn't have rush or something, I'll just look at something because like, oh, if I don't know where the eel is, if I hit L, it'll default to the closest enemy. I could have actually looked at that weapon. Oh well. So, escorts, high escort. Tinkers can be very nice because they can give you access to a extra generic skill tree, or at least the ability to unlock it, which can be very powerful. It can essentially replace infusions for you. However, like many escorts, they're in fact fairly suicidal. Or at least have little sense of life preservation. High Troll, he can be a bit scary because he's a caster and he also uses a shield that reflects all the damage you deal to him at times, which is a real pain in the ass. That was not what I wanted. It's a tree with guns. Let's just go with that, I guess. Ow. So he burns me, so I'm just going to use a Wild Infusion because I'm pretty sure he's not going to actually do anything else to me that's going to require that. Oh. The Tinker, the escorts do actually help you fight to some extent. It's just not a great deal. So I think I'm actually going to do, because I actually want to recover if I have to fight that tree, is I'm figuring out where he's going and I'm standing in his way so he can't get to the tree. And because this way it lets me wait until my talents come up. That was unexpected. Fortunately, because of this, I can actually permanently stun him. 6 turn cooldown, 6 turn stun. That's one of the few nice traits that Berserkers have. I'm not always a great fan of this class, but it's nice to introduce people to the game. Bunch of different effects. This one will actually let you eventually unlock the Tinker tree for yourself. Again, so, looking at it, okay, what class is he? He's got a big weapon. Oh, right, no, he doesn't have any classes. He just smacks me and spits at me. Good to know. That's exciting. So again, I use the buff that takes a turn before I go in. Ow. Stuns, I don't like you. Please stop it. Thank you. One of the nice things about Confusion as a debuff is it can completely stop enemies taking a certain action. Yeah, sure, why not? I'll use this. Might as well equip this, I guess. It gives me a little light, so can't hurt. Talent mastery buffs can be sort of handy at times, but I actually prefer the other one I have, honestly. Like, it's not a huge difference either way. Yes, I prefer the better armor. This is a really nice talent because it just says, hey, you've got a 15% chance whenever you get hit to not get hit. Surprisingly enough, everyone likes that. I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm just going to go aggressive for the time being. Why not? Death Dance is just a nice AoE I can get. This can be as well. And let's just go for the AoE, why not? So this area you should get a bit of warning when you enter because it's a bit more dangerous than the previous enter Trollmire. So it's not like it'll automatically kill you, it's more just like, hey, by the way, if you're going to do this, know what you're walking into. I'm waiting here instead of going in because I know there's multiple enemies around this area, and I basically just don't see any reason to walk into them. Why not let them come to me? So using a buff before I rush him. Pity. So I use the stun and then check to see if he was stunned. He's not, so I'm going to shout at him instead. God, I forgot that the Berserkers have like no stamina sustain early game. Oops. No. I care more about the accuracy than the other elements right now, so I figure it's basically just not worth investing into for that. And hey, it's big armor. Armor's good, everyone likes armor. Note that armor only protects against attacks from enemies. It's not necessarily physical though. So some enemies might attack you using a weapon attack for fire damage, it will stop that. But if someone casts a spell that deals physical damage, like, I know, a gravity spell or stone spell, armor doesn't help against that. Only resistances can make a difference. I don't know why I did that. Normally, by the way, you should probably build a little more careful. But in this case, I don't know, I'm not that worried for the early game. Those two options will give you different picks to choose between for the abilities when like if you give like picks to choose from when you say forget the X score to where they're going. I actually don't quite remember what the optional get is, but I think it can't hurt. And so every so often I just check in with him about, hey, you know, where are you trying to go? The answer's this way, and so I'm just trying to make sure that, well, something's bad at me. I'm trying to make sure that like wherever he's actually going to go, that I'm there before he gets there, because I don't want to have to try and salvage him. What do I have? Save that size. I'm not actually sure what's best to take here. I'm going to take the heal. There's a slight downside of I actually can't regenerate equilibrium, so I can only use this like a set number of times each level. But if nothing else, I can use it to heal other escorts I'm escorting. Chests can be nice, but they can also be quite dangerous. So if you're going to open a chest, make sure you've at least killed everything nearby first. I tend to prefer making sure I've killed the entire level first, honestly. That's annoying. So I'm blinded, so I can't really do much offensively because I'm likely to miss most of my attacks. I'm going to spend a turn on regeneration instead. Will he stop blinding me? Bugger off. Again, so have him outside him. What is he doing? He's got throwing knives and he's got 2 daggers, so he's a rogue. And that's technically level 10, but I'm just going to finish this area because why not? What is he sitting on? Okay, so he's actually... Oh no, he's not a mage. Sorry, sometimes it's a little misleading because like the stone skin talent is actually a mage talent, but the rat has it naturally because it's a magical rat, go figure. Confusion sucks. But sometimes you get lucky and you just don't care. So again, when the auto explore stopped me there, I was just like, you know what, like, I see that there's a dagger here. This seems useful, but I'm not going to use it. Because I see there's a chest, I'm not going to use it because I want to kill everything else first. So again, I use my armor buff to summon a dwarf before I go in. Try and stun him back. Okay, so I just double tap that because that just tells me that there's nothing left in the level to explore. So it's safe for me to go for the chest. I guess I'll use it for the spell save. So I don't have anything else. Is this one worth it? Probably not. Yeah, the reason I'm not going to use it is because I like the accuracy and defense off this one, even though the other one does do a little more damage. But it's not like a big difference either way. This one's just a bit better than what I have now, so why not? Okay, I'm actually going to use this for the chance to blind on hit. Um, chance to gloom is probably like the most powerful effect you can get as an on hit on weapons, because gloom is a few different debuffs that can show up. Like there's a stun, there's a slow, there's a confuse. They tend to be pretty good. So I'm going to open the chest, so I use the regen, because it's a buff that takes a turn before I open it. And it turns out there was no point, but it's good to have good habits, I guess. What are you? Yeah, probably not worth. In the earlier parts of the game, on-hit damage is proportionally more powerful, so in this case, the weapon deals 9 damage on hit. That's because in the early stage of the game, on-hit damage tends to be a larger portion of the damage you deal, and so later in the game, weapon damage will scale faster than on-hit damage will, basically. Also, I was just going to note, I turned the corner, I immediately got smacked by a mouse, who actually almost killed himself on damage retaliation, but that's another note. So in this case, so I have 2 debuffs, where I got poisoned, I got stunned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the healing infusion to cure the poison, before I use the physical infusion to clear the stun. Otherwise it'd be a 50-50 either way, and getting stunned for 7 turns sort of sucks. So again, use the wild infusion, didn't work. So wait, where am I? Use the wild infusion, it didn't cure the blind. So I'm just going to run away until I'm not blind anymore. In this case, I could actually use the wild infusion. The reason I'm not is because like I just walked here, so there could be a lot of enemies here, I don't know. And this is a safe area, so I'm actually just going to back up without clearing it. That way if something stunned me, I'd still have it open. And you see me pulling this trick all the time where most of the time something like something's close to me that's melee, I'll wait for it to come to me instead of me going to it. Except invisible rogues, because who knows what the hell invisible rogues are doing. Vaults are dangerous, but I'm feeling silly, so why the hell not? Let's take the third point of this to get the bleed, because bleed's handy. And I mean, I don't even know what I'm going to do with the other one. What else go with this? It's not a good talent, I'm just taking it because I'm just going to take it like until I get back to a town, basically. I always know there's going to be something guarding here. Since there isn't, it's apparently invisible. So I use the first turn to heal. I knew someone was walking towards me, so second turn, ow. So second turn I can do that. Heal before I go in. A lot of I forgot there's going to be an enemy here. Whoops. Honestly, a lot of the time, it's really not worth it to actually do these sort of vaults. I'm just, I don't know, feeling bored and a little ambitious. Because the enemies in here tend to be very high level. Oftentimes, the main danger is that you'll open one of these that has like a really high mage in it. So a really high level mage in it, you'll get 2-shot. But the upside is you can get much stronger weapons, something like this. I'm probably going to go with the Constitution Helm instead, just because I'm mostly worried about getting 1-shot right now, but normally, again, it's really not a big deal. Oh, Snow Giant. Hi, Snow Giant. Go away. Can I do this? Let's try. The reason I'm a little hesitant here is because I know this vault layout. It's always the same. There's going to be 4 skeleton mages, one here, 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 and mages are nasty and like nuking the shit out of you. So again, I'm backing up out of line of sight to make sure that when they come to me, only one can actually see me at a time. Again, he's shooting a flame. It's not at me yet, so I'm going to back up. Everything in tome that says it's a projectile is actually a projectile and can actually miss. And ow. See, I'm here, but 2 of them can see me at once. I'm scared, so I'm leaving. better region than I have. So worse infusion, again, cooldown matters way more than, matters a fair bit more than the other effects do when we're talking, uh, Wild Runes. So actually, I'm trying to charge him. The reason it's not working, I'm pretty sure, is because there's going to be something in the way. So yeah, I thought that was another enemy. Disarm's nasty. Ow. Again, so I'm stepping towards a guy who's under me because I want to make sure that I don't get flanked. Because I want to make sure that I don't get flanked by two people in a row. So back up, wait for the choke point. Again, I could Wild Infusion to kill the blind, but I don't need to, so I'm backing up, and that's spooky. So I know there's a snake there. I know he's invisible, which is why I'm inspecting him. Okay, so he's a rogue snake. So I'm going to back up. Yeah, I thought so. So again, queuing the stun first, because stun is depressing a fight. That's actually a lot of... Ow. What the hell's hitting me? Oh, I can't see you for some reason. Good to know. That's annoying. I don't know what talent that was, actually. But it's annoying either way. So I'm stunned, tried to queue it, failed. The reason I'm not moving is because stun lowers your movement speed. And yeah, right now my movement speed's pretty low. So this basically says that like if I tried to move, he would get like at least 2 turns in a row to attack me for free, which is also not a particularly great idea. Which is not something that I'm a particularly great fan of. So this is going to be a pain. Did I miss him? Wait, I hit him? I thought I wasn't stunned anymore. Wait. Oh, I missed him. Never mind. Penny's leaving. I'm slightly confused, but not terribly. Get back here. That's often what can get dangerous is when enemies start just stacking a lot of debuffs in a row on you. Hmm. Yeah, I guess I will go with this. I was just a little uncertain about whether or not it was actually worth whether or not it was actually worth losing the high max health on that. Armor, I think I prefer the blind chance. But you always want to keep a pickaxe in your inventory just in case you need to dig through the wall. Hi. There we are. So honestly, like some of this is just, I know the game because I've played a lot, so I actually have some idea of what this boss is going to be. Ooh, Summertide File. That's actually a really nice lantern to get early game. The main reason is that it has a significantly higher light radius than the average lantern you'll find. The other thing is also it can dispel darkness. What this basically means early game is you just hit this as an active and look, you get more light for a bit. But later in the game it can be handy because there are some enemies that can summon magical darkness, and that can just be really annoying. You can still see through with a lantern, it's just, it doesn't go away. So it can turn areas that are normally like well lit, like above ground, into dark instead. I'm just going to open this for the hell of it. These tend to function sort of like chests that are just a bit scarier, or nothing could happen. So, that's early game Berserker. If you want to expand from here, you've got a bunch of trees, but like shield defense isn't for you. Archery isn't for you, obviously. Superiority can be quite good. Juggernaut's nice for defensive buffs. Shattering Impact can be nice, but it's generally too expensive. Bloodthirst in particular, Unstoppable is good. You literally can't die. Surprisingly enough, everyone likes that. And war cries can also be sort of interesting, though it's not generally strong, but honestly it's pretty open. So hope you enjoyed this, hope it's helpful. If you have any feedback, please comment or shoot me a message. I'd love to hear. So, that will then, Turks.